We are back in my home shop today working on the Packard. Today I'm going to work on getting the brake system done. I've got a master cylinder rebuild kit, and we're going to take the drums off all four corners and see what parts we need to order. So for those of you who do not follow me on Instagram, you have not seen this yet. Brought home some tires from the shop, and I was trying to make them fit, see how big of a tire I can run on this car. And what I ended up with was a 305, 30-20 on the back, and a 285 35-20 on the front. And on the front, I probably won't be able to run that wide, but on the rear, I am definitely going to shove that tire up in there when I bag it. It's 11 inches wide, 27 inches tall. It's going to be on a 20-inch, probably Detroit steel wheel, but it fits in the wheel well without any modification. So this car won't be able to lay frame, which I'm okay with. I'm not really a big let's lay frame guy, but I want it almost there. So with the way the tire is sitting in the wheel well right now, that'll put the frame an inch off the ground, which is fine. The tire is just touching the top of the inner wheel tub. It's clear on both sides, clear front and back. So give you guys a little bit of a look. It's going to be ridiculous. So that's what tire is going to go on this thing. I had to figure that out because that kind of dictates everything else I'm going to do. Wheels, suspension, brakes, steering, all that stuff. So like I said, I have this master cylinder rebuild kit from Max Merit Packard Parts. So I'm going to do that today. And I've already got one wheel hub taken apart. I got bored last night and decided to take it apart and see how it works. And it's a different design. The drum and hub are built together, so your bearings are inside your drum. But you can see this drum's in really good shape, so no real issues there. I'm hoping the other three corners will be the same. And I'm going to put all new wheel cylinders on it. So far the brake lines have been agreeing with me as far as coming apart. Going back together might be a different issue. The hard lines look okay. The soft lines I'm probably going to replace. But yeah, I'm going to take this master cylinder apart, see what it looks like inside, and go from there. All right, so here's our master cylinder and brake booster assembly. I've started taking a few things apart, and you can see inside the reservoir, this is where the fluid would go. There's gunk, I guess. But down further in the reservoir, there was still fluid, so I've drained that out. So I'm hoping that this will clean up nice and that the lines are in good shape. This is where the lines connect. There's three. Two go to the front, one goes to the rear. And this is the little distribution block here. And that had clean fluid in it. So I'm hoping that I'm in good shape as far as the lines and everything go. But it's just the reservoir that's a little dirty. So I have to disassemble this whole thing right here with some snap rings and some screws. So I'm going to get started on that. All right, so using my trusty book, I've started disassembling the master cylinder. And what's different about this is you have to pull the vacuum booster apart to get the master cylinder off. The vacuum booster I wasn't going to rebuild. I was just going to reseal and rebuild the master cylinder. But it bolts from the inside. So you have to take all this stuff right here out to get the master cylinder off, which is kind of crazy. But it's almost all the way apart. Everything's coming apart nice. So if I can get the vacuum can and the master cylinder apart and pull the piston out of the master cylinder and inspect it, then I'll start cleaning stuff and putting it back together. All right, so we have the master cylinder disassembled. Here are all the parts. I have the actual master cylinder body sitting in this stuff. Chem dip. And hopefully it'll clean out all the nasty junk that was in there, and then I'll just brake clean it down. So what I have to do is actually go buy some brake clean real quick. So I'll let this soak for probably about a half hour. That's how long it'll take me to get to the store and come back. And when I get back, I'm going to lay everything out and start rebuilding this thing. All right, so we have the master cylinder all cleaned up. I had a broken bolt right there, so I'm going to have to go get a tap because I couldn't get it to back out after it broke. So I've drilled the hole, I just have to tap it. And we've got the plunger assembly all taken apart. There's our new parts, and there's our new gaskets. So I'm gonna start throwing this thing together real quick and see if I can make brakes work. The master cylinder is rebuilt. The vacuum diaphragm is rebuilt. Now I basically have to put the whole thing together, but before I do, I have to tap that hole, so I have to run and go get a tap real quick. Something cool though, this is the lid for the master cylinder. It's made out of copper, and it was painted, so I started stripping the paint off because I was going to repaint it, but it's actually copper, so I'm going to try to clean it up a little better, and I'm going to leave it copper because I think it looks cool. Alright, so getting the vacuum piston put back together, and I broke the spring. I actually broke both of them. So it came with a new one. It comes long like this, and you curl it up, and it clips into itself. And I must have been doing something wrong, because they both broke in the same spot. So what it does is it holds this fiber ring out so that it doesn't collapse. And I've got it wedged in here, so it's holding pressure on it, and then there's another plate that goes on top of this to hold it all down. So hopefully I'll be okay. If I lose vacuum brakes, I will know why. But I can't figure out what I was doing wrong because, you know, it just curls up in here and it clips into itself. So obviously I didn't do it right, but I think I got it to where it's going to work. So I'm going to finish putting it together. All right, that's it. All reassembled. I've already painted the vacuum can, but I'm going to put a whole coat on this thing of black paint. So quick video, getting the brakes going on the Packard. I was actually able to find 4 wheel cylinders locally. Like I said before, I've already got one wheel taken apart. I'm going to take the other 3 off and make sure that all that stuff looks good. I might have to get brake hoses, but I'm going to order those. So I'm going to get this painted. I got to clean up in here and do some running around. But hopefully the next video, you will see this thing move under its own power. So fingers crossed, hopefully everything works out good. Don't forget, guys, be sure you check me out on Instagram. I try to post up there daily what I'm doing, and I know you guys only get to see a video once or twice a week. So be sure to check Instagram out. A little over 2,000 followers right now, which is awesome. Looking for a lot more. So go over to Instagram, follow me there. And don't forget, you can always get High PSI TV t-shirts in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.